Dear students, there has been a lot of queries from you all people, how to handle a fish market situation. This happens. Very common, particularly in PPDT and also in GD when you go for SSP. It also happens in your day-to-day life. What is the reason? Many people today feel that if they want to impress a personality, they have to speak. No. Communication is complete when you listen to others also and you speak also. That is the time when communication becomes complete. But what happens when people have the belief that they have to impress their speech? They tend to shout, they tend to read aloud. There are many times when people would like to counter your communication and then it becomes a very bad exchange. Verbal exchange becomes heated. That is to be checked. But nevertheless, how do we handle that? Let's talk about it. See, there are two conditions. Condition number one, when you will have this fish market situation, the officer, within few minutes, the officer would intervene and tell people be silent or divide the group. This is number one condition. Now, what are you supposed to do in that first condition is that you have to first be calm, because this may happen. And this will happen within 1 minute, 2 minutes, as soon as the officer sees this. So you have to be calm. There may be a possibility he won't see it. We'll talk about that in condition number two. Now, be calm to let the dust settle down. There's a possibility that somebody will start speaking in flow, and then you can pick it up from there. So remember that. Number two is don't panic. That is very important. There are a lot of people, when they have this fish market, they look disturbed. They start looking at the officer. They start looking what is happening. Their expression speaks that they are in stress. Now, this is not to be done. You have already spent a major portion of your life where you have learned that people tend to create heated situation by exchanges. So you should be mature enough to be calm at that point of time and not panic. Don't add to confusion, or not start barking to add to confusion. Others are speaking, you also join in as another barking dog. Please don't do that. For your good readout and good story, if you have written a good story and you have done a good readout, that will be enough to get you screened in. Though you should participate a little, but that should be assurance for you not to join the chaos. Is it clear? For PPDT. And in case of group discussion, then after a few minutes, the things will settle and you'll get ample opportunity. You'll also get another group discussion. So don't worry. Even in group planning also, try to just focus on the plan. Try to appreciate others. We'll teach you the strategy. Keep watching. Now then, when officer intervenes to check candidate and chaos and tells you to restart, then what are you supposed to do? You don't have to rush immediately. He says, okay, re-begin. Then you become the first speaker. Then what happens? There is a possibility that the officer may not have ended the complete instruction and they'll find that you are too much in a hurry. So there, as soon as you say restart, let one speak and then you speak. Be the second speaker. This way you can come back to the flow of participation. Because there are some people like cunning foxes. The moment officer says, okay, restart, he jumps, saying that this is the best opportunity. Don't be so lack of confidence. Be cool, be calm. You should have a good attitude. That is more important. And you will get through. Next, give a point combining different points. I've always said that when you do in a group discussion, don't try to sing your own flute. You're getting the point. You can pick points from others. This has said this has said this. Why not we combine this together and we can say this. This is a very good strategy to help in concluding. Now we go down. Listening during readout. Very important. Once you listen to readout, you get an idea of different stories, particularly in PPDT. And even in group discussion, you can listen what the other person is saying so that you can combine points. And mentally prepare a common point. As I've said, creating consensus by appreciating good points. Appreciate points of others. And coming to a common story. This helps in PPDT. It also helps in group discussion. In group discussion during GTO, appreciate good points, agree to good points, and logically come to conclusion. That should be a strategy. Then automatically you will be able to handle this fish market situation. Still, there is one more possibility which I'm going to teach you. Now, in terms of participation, once or twice participation, if you've done in the group discussion, it is enough. And if you logically and appropriately, as per subject of discussion, you've done, it's enough. That doesn't mean you've said excuse me, but you've said some relevant point. It is enough. It is enough to impress that you are doing fine. A good example of comparison to explain is also very, very important. Now there is one more thing, which is conclusion, which is group of ideas from the different people of the group should be the aim of an effective candidate. Is it clear? You should aim for that. Now one thing more which I want to teach you particularly, in case the officer does not jump in, there the officer is controlled, then you have had a strategy how to perform. But now the officer has not come in between, and you find that in 1 minute the confusion is going on. What are you going to do in that condition? In that condition, identify main contributors who are creating the confusion, the loudspeakers. Allow them to speak, and then say, okay, first you speak, then allow you also speak. Now let us also participate. This is the best way to do it, right? If you find somebody is more louder than the other, give him priority, then you go to the next one, and then you come down to the third. That is your own participation. Very important. Then this way you can request. You know, once a person gets a moral obligation that they've spoken, they tend to become silent, and that is a strategy. Now you find that he is regularly creating a problem. Nevertheless, the officer is also watching. But your effort to cooperate, your effort to combine people, your effort to, compromise a little, but speak and participate is being observed by the officer, and that will help you get screened in or get selected in the group discussion also. Be intelligent to pick a broader perspective. Never have a very narrow perspective. Pick broader perspective means add the other points also, so that maximum thing is covered in the group discussion. So I think this point also can be added. This point can be, why don't we make a common story like this? We have talked about how you will do group discussions. We have talked about in narration. We will be also doing it again, so that you learn the majority, clubbing, other theory which we have taught you. It will help you master interpersonal management. Now here we come down to the third point. Good knowledge and logical view can help to come to a common point. See, if you're giving good knowledge and you are being logical in getting things, then everybody will appreciate. So remember that. Very important. Now we come down. Remember, group discussion is not to prove self-superior. Very, very important point. I'm repeatedly telling. There are many people who think that in group discussion, they have to speak, prove themselves superior, they have to be excellent. No, it is not. It is to create logical consensus. That means coolly agreeing to some point, listening carefully, getting points together, and of course, being focused to get a proper conclusion. Remember, that is it. This is the point which I want to tell you. In fish market situation, you don't have to panic. Be calm, be participative, be in the front, be participative, allow few people, help in some clearing the confusions, and do well. I'm sure you will succeed well, and you learn that it is about how you manage well, and this will enhance your ability to be a very effective leader. God bless you. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.